Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Up Your Alley. It's a podcast with two best friends. That's me. Fuck, I'm going to start over.
No, go.
All right, fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah, go.
It's a podcast of...
No, we got this. Hi, everybody. This is Jake Baggett coming through first, taking over the hosting spot. With me, as always, is my best friend, Taylor Edgar. Say hello, Taylor.
I deserve that. I deserve the coup de podcast that you just...
Yeah, that was great. I saw it. I saw my opportunity. I took it, baby.
Yeah, strike while that iron's hot. So it's a podcast where we're two best friends and we talk about things that we recommended to each other. We come back the next week and grade them between 1 and 3, depending on how much is up our individual alleys. I'm still holding on to my 1-point lead, 55 over Jake's 54. This week we were talking about Jake's recommendation for me, which is the Jeff Lemire comic series Sweet Tooth. Yeah. That was adapted into a Netflix series. We'll probably get into some of that too.
You forgot to say it wrong. It's Lemire.
It's what?
It's Lemire. You forgot to say it wrong.
You ready for this?
Yeah. Did you?
Jeff Lemire.
Oh my gosh, I hate this computer.
I got a pronunciation guide for it queued up.
God damn,
So
that was too fast. I didn't like that.
Oh, it was a tab that was open for me.
Jeff Lemire.
I don't know if they can hear it, but it's
If you
definitely a
can.
computer lady.
There's a way you could do it slow.
Jeff Lemire.
That's so sarcastic.
I know. When you make it slow, it's like she's being shitty
You
about
can
it.
hear that she's pulling her fingers out and stretching it out to make sure you
Jeff
understand.
Lemire. So the series by Jeff Lemire, Sweet Tooth, and we're also talking about the 2023 RPG Sea of Stars that is out now. So we're going to get in all that. First of all, Jake, how you been, buddy?
I've been doing pretty darn well, buddy.
You said you've been productive today.
Oh my gosh.
How so?
Yeah. I went out and I bought new clothes for a wardrobe to actually like
Work stuff?
work stuff so that I
Nice.
could switch shirts and pants out and stuff.
Ooh.
Like that type of
Professional
wardrobe.
shit.
Yeah.
I did that when I had an office job.
And then I went to Walmart and bought a nightstand and built that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I made hamburgers and asparagus for lunch.
Wow.
And then I took a nap.
Yeah.
And then I did laundry.
Huh.
I don't do this shit.
That's a pretty productive day.
That's crazy productive for me.
I'm not going to lie about that. So we did have a couple things we wanted to get into. I'll tell you about what I've been working on. So this thing that's sitting right next to us.
Yeah.
This is a cast iron Dutch oven.
Right. That's what it's called.
It's a Wagner. This was actually, you could probably hear that sound effect on here.
Yeah.
This was given to me by my dad. It was his grandmother's.
It's seen history, that's for sure.
Yeah, it dates back to, I want to say I got the date off the stamp off the bottom. It's like 1928.
Nice.
Is about when it was made.
Wow.
So I fell down another YouTube rabbit hole, as I want to do.
Okay.
Longtime listeners will know that it involved crow training,
Yes.
mouse/snake capture.
What's the update?
So there was a baby mouse,
Yeah.
and I caught that.
Oh,
I was
no.
going to raise that to use it for snake bait,
That's a scary game.
but then the mouse died.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was very
Wow.
sad.
What's this? Was
So I
this
was trying to nurse him
inside
back.
job?
No, I was trying to nurse him back to health. I gave him a name. I named him Donald because I thought that was funny.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is kind of funny.
it is funny, right? It's
like
objectively a funny name for a
Yeah,
mouse.
that's true.
Donald Mouse. So people go like, yeah.
He's
So anyway,
close.
Donnie died, and so you can't use dead mice for snakes.
Yeah.
So, that one's on the back burner. So now we're getting into cast iron restoration.
Oh, okay.
There's a guy on YouTube. Let me see if I can pull him up while I'm talking about him.
Is this going to be my recommendation for the day to clean your Dutch oven?
Okay. It's a lot of work, and there's like some
I have
kind
no
of
doubt.
science that goes into it. So like there's a
Sure.
thing you could build where it's like a pot, and you put a car battery hooked up to it.
What?
So it's like through electrolysis that you can like get all the rust off of your cast iron by
Oh, no,
submerging
buddy.
it into liquid.
Don't do this. Oh,
And
please,
it
buddy,
takes
don't.
a-
Don't mess with a car battery unless it goes into a car.
No, it goes into a thing of there's a thing on YouTube, and there's like acids involved.
People on YouTube are idiots.
Did you know you can't just mix water and acid together willy-nilly? You got to go like one or the other.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know which one it is, and this is something I should probably look up. But it's like either if you put water into acid or acid into water, it explodes. But there's a right way you can do it,
Please.
which is like, fucking science is
I
weird.
don't know. This is probably my least favorite rabbit hole you've been down.
No, but I'm going to get this Dutch oven looking like friggin' sweet.
Yeah, but I don't want you to die.
I probably won't, though.
You're playing with it almost sounds like a euphemism. You're playing with battery acid.
Listen, it's not the safest idea, but a cast iron Chris is the channel. So he does this like professionally. And he's got like a bunch of like those Rubbermaid Tupperware things, but like a certain kind of plastic you got to buy. Did you know different kinds of plastics?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know what number plastic it is. I got to look that up first too.
Okay.
But then you could hook it up to like a battery, and then it gets all the rust off the cast iron through science magic.
I want you to get every safety precaution possible.
Listen, if it goes as well as the snake catching, it's not going to happen. So we've got that in our favor.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, I think it would be fun to have like old cast iron stuff.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I would love to see the results.
Yeah.
But man, I had no idea car battery would be involved in this. I thought it was going to be like soak it in oil, cooking oil.
Yeah, you can do that if you're being like a little nerd about it.
If you want to be 1928 about it.
All right, let me put it to you this way. There are two ways to do something. One of them involves science and a car battery, and one of them involves a lot of scrubbing.
It's the Simpsons quote. Do you want things done right or you want it done fast?
Well,
like
actually,
every American, fast.
The electrolysis takes a long time too. I think it's gonna be cool, and it might be fun.
Invite me over
for the electrolysis party.
Yeah,
I'm already making you a pizza pie upstairs.
That's very true.
Yeah,
I would love to have a pizza pie, and I would love to watch a cast iron pot get struck by a battery.
I'm picturing like a Frankenstein situation.
I'm picturing like a Frankenstein situation.
We should do it during a rainstorm to see if that helps.
We should do it inside too, just so that we don't get wet.
Maybe we don't need the car battery. We could just put the cast iron in a thing outside.
And we have to do a crank so that it goes up.
Or we could like Ben Franklin it and just tie
put it on a kite.
A kite with a key attached to this Dutch oven.
Now we wait
from 1920 and see if that works. I think it'll be fun. But a little bit of news that I wanted to talk to you about because you know about it.
Yeah.
It comes from the video game realm, which is I kept seeing things on Reddit and stuff about game engine Unity and how they managed to piss off not only gamers but big companies and indie developers. They somehow managed to do one thing that pissed off
every single person.
Everybody except the CEO of Unity.
Yeah.
So what's the deal?
Oh, I think the CEO of Unity is pissed off as well.
Yeah?
Yes. Because they went public,
okay,
like recently, and in doing that, people on the board are, people on the board are money hungry assholes.
Business schools.
Yes,
that's our
business
friend
school.
Robert Evans
How do we
calls
make money on this thing? And
Tim Robinson's all that's going through my head. I gotta find out a way to make money on this. I really want to.
It's so good. So, like, Unity is a game engine, right?
Okay.
You make your game in it. You can make any type of game in it. You know, it's pretty versatile and it's pretty easy to learn. There's plenty of tutorials on it, and it's free to download and make your stupid little indie game to share it with your friends. But if you want to monetize it, you have to buy the license of it, right?
So Kotaku has an article up that I just pulled up, and it says 3 games all run on this engine, and they're all very different games. So it's not like I was picturing it's kind of like when people say the Unreal Engine. You see games, and they all kind of look similar if they're made on the Unreal Engine.
Almost, yeah.
The top 3 games that it has from this says Cuphead, Fall Guys, and Among Us.
Yes.
Among Us is a top-down puzzle party game. Fall Guys is a game. Well, we play it online.
Platformer game.
3D platformer that's a whole battle royale essentially. And then Cuphead is a cell-shaded side scroller. Shooting game. Those are all made on the same engine.
Like Players Unknown Battlegrounds is on there too.
Oh, PUBG's that too?
Yeah, so you can make like
fucking
really
anything.
beautiful games in it, or you can make your silly little 2D games in it.
Yeah, you can do Among Us or Cuphead.
Yeah, and basically you buy the license, and that's how they get their money from it. You know, we get ourselves a little cut of all the games that you sell.
Yeah.
And now, instead of going from sales, they're going to change it to installs. Every time your game is installed, you owe us some money for this. And they even said stuff like, this is retroactive.
What?
As well. We are going back to see how many times your games have been installed, and we are going to take that. And then they came...
Is this coming from the consumer or the developer?
The developer actually came out with a FAQ because they're like, look, everybody's upset with us, and I understand this is, big news, so let me just squash some things that you guys are talking about. Everything that you guys have said that we're doing is true. I just want to make sure that we're on the same level here.
Right.
We didn't lie. You didn't lie. we're trying to take as much money as possible from you.
They said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah, well, they're just, because their thing is like, we're not, you have to reach a certain install threshold, and then after that, we start taking a whole bunch of money from you.
So they only penalize you if your game is successful.
If you're doing really well, we're going to take your money from you.
That's what the liberals want to do.
It's the craziest thing. But they'll give it to other game developers.
Yeah.
You monster.
So I was shocked that even like Nintendo was coming out, and like Nintendo's notoriously like a shithead about money, piracy, anything like that.
They're doing what they can with their own product, which
Yeah.
I also disagree with their policies and stuff. Mm-hmm. They should. They're stupid. But it's the most predatory thing that a game engine company can do. This is insanely predatory. So people are already, there's a game engine called Godot or Godot. I can't remember. I don't even know how it's pronounced.
Godot?
Yeah.
So it's like the play. It's Godot.
Almost like Godot, but I also see people saying it's pronounced Godot, but I don't know. But
One of those GIF things where the internet can't decide.
I'm not sure. I haven't talked to the Godot guy yet or the Godot guy.
Can we get him on the pod?
Yeah, of course.
Let's find Godot.
But there's
We're
already
literally waiting for Godot
like,
now.
do you know the game Caves
That
of...
was a better joke than you gave it credit for.
Oh, I was already thinking of something
Said we're
else.
waiting for Godot.
Oh, that's not a good joke.
It's a great joke. That's the play, waiting for Godot.
Yeah, I know. That's a good play, by the way.
I'm going to sit in silence for a little bit and think about how great that joke was.
But do you know the game Caves of Qud?
No.
QUD?
No.
That's a really, really in-depth, nerdy game where you can do anything that you want, like crazy amounts of anything that you want. And
What's
like
it called? Tales of Qud?
Yeah, Caves of Qud, QUD. And the guy that developed it, he made it for sale, and he made like so much money off of it, like as soon as it was released.
Kind of a Stardew Valley situation?
A lot like that, where everybody was surprised that such a nerd-looking game was like so popular.
Right.
And he's coming out and he's like, I just took my game from Unity and I put it on Godot already. He's like, it took me maybe 40 hours, but the entire game now runs on Godot. And he's like, it's easy. Anybody can do this.
So is everyone just jumping ship?
I really hope so. That would be the funniest part.
So that's a horrible business strategy on two levels, because one, if you're trying to, and I don't know anything about it, obviously, but it seems like if you're trying to force people to give you more money, there shouldn't be a free option that's readily available that they could just go to.
But I think that they just want to sell out.
Huh.
I think they're just like, how do we make money off of this instead of like, how do we run a business? They're like, how do we get a whole bunch of money? And so they just sell,
Jesus.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to like eventually sell the whole company. Yeah. So they're trying to just hack and slash it.
Yeah, they're just vampiring it.
That sucks.
Just sucking it dry.
Well, I'm glad that
that's what I think. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well,
hopefully
yesterday
they changed their minds. That would be great.
Yeah, yesterday, we're recording this on the 18th, so who knows what this is like when the podcast actually comes out. Unity tweeted, or X'd. What do you call it with X now?
Tweets.
They tweet from X?
I'm not going to call it
Did they X something?
Whatever. It's tweets.
Okay. They truth socialed, we have heard you. We apologize for the confusion and angst in the runtime fee policy we announced Tuesday cause. We are listening, talking to our team members, community customers, and partners, and we'll be making changes to the policy. We will share an update in a couple of days. That sounds like corporate horse shit.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Whenever a corporation is just like, we're listening to you, that just means we're not doing anything.
We're just going to string this along until it happens.
Until we're physically forced by law or lack of income, we're not going to change anything that we're doing. Mm-hmm. You remember the episode of South Park with BP with the oil spill, and they're just like, we're sorry. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're so sorry.
Yeah, and look at them. They're out on the fucking curb.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows BP anymore.
There's like 2 in town.
Yeah, I know. They're everywhere.
You get
I was
rewards.
being sarcastic.
You get rewards for Harris Teeter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Put it in
I
your
don't have
Harris
Harris
Teeter
near me anymore.
Best local grocery store.
I got Wegmans.
Shout out to... Oh, Wegmans is good.
Wegmans is pretty good.
Shout out to Harris Teeter.
Shout out to Wegmans.
They can be a sponsor. No. Just shout out to Harris Teeter because you didn't laugh at my Samuel Beckett joke.
I'm going back retroactively, and I'm installing laugh
Wegmans?
to it.
You're installing Wegmans as a sponsor retroactively. We're getting all the fuel points. Sounds good. All right. Well, yeah. Well, let's hope this starts out. And everyone else is on strike. United Auto Workers are on strike.
Hell yeah.
Actors are still on strike.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Except for Bill Maher and Drew Barrymore.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. Bill Maher really sucks. He's always sucked. So I don't care whatever he does.
Yeah,
it's going to be bad no matter what.
I don't know what it is. Like, because I remember, did you ever see his documentary Religulous?
I watched a little bit of it, and
Yeah.
it's so pretentious and stupid.
So I think I first saw that like either freshman, sophomore year of college, whenever it came out. But anyway, so I remember seeing it, and he was such a smarmy, condescending asshole.
Yeah, the entire time.
It was 2008, so it must have been
How
sophomore
smart
year
is
of
he?
college.
How smart is he?
Yeah, and I was just in my smarmy, condescending asshole phase where I like literally took on the Bill Maher. I'm like, okay, that's what you really believe, okay. And I loved being that big of a dickhead, but now, fucking 15 years later in life, I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
you're just an ass.
Yeah, you're just being an asshole to
for no
people.
reason. And now it's just like when he said the writers don't deserve a living, I'm like, but if you want to keep getting their product, they deserve what they ask for. You're allowed to ask for whatever you want.
You don't deserve a living.
No one's entitled to give it to you, but you can't force people to do something they don't want to do.
I give entertainment. Okay. Don't even worry about it, babe. No, that's kind of Dennis Miller.
Yeah, a little slipped in.
Another
Smarmy asshole. And then Drew Barrymore, it's like, wasn't she like brought up because everyone found out Ellen DeGeneres was a bad person?
Yeah.
And
I
they're
have
like, oh,
no
now
clue.
Drew Barrymore's super sweet.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Drew Barrymore.
I have no idea.
I don't, because somebody brought up that, like,
And are there
how is it
people-
not the same as when Jon Stewart and Conan O'Brien
And Colbert did
did it? And to
First of
me,
all, are there
what
writers
I
for the Drew Barrymore show? Isn't she
know,
just interviewing
there
people?
must be.
Yeah.
I don't watch the show.
And who are you interviewing if all the actors are still on strike?
Yeah, that's a great question. Scabs.
And also, who's watching the Drew Barrymore show?
I have no clue.
Everybody's aunt. That's who.
What was the joke? Dogs, so that they can hear something while you're gone, and confused Hispanic women trying to clean your place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awful. Also, Russell Brand's apparently an awful person.
Oh yeah, guess what? I always knew that.
We talked about him when we talked about Catherine called Birdie. And
Yes,
I think I
we
said
did.
nice things about him.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Look at me.
I wish I didn't now. I love seeing the. We don't have to go down a deep why Russell Brand's a piece of shit, because it turns out he is.
Yeah.
And someone was saying on Reddit, like, I guess, what are these anti-woke people or whatever, is like, see, he's been telling us that the mainstream media is going to come after him, and this
Yeah.
is just what's coming to happen. And I'm
Yeah.
like, the other side of that coin is maybe someone that keeps talking about how the mainstream media is going to come after them is trying to like get ahead of it. Yeah. It's like it's the
They're
same
gonna say
thing.
I did crimes, guys. I'm not doing crimes.
Listen, a lot of people are going to tell you that I did a whole
Something that
bunch of
a
crimes.
person that does crimes would say.
Yeah, it's just like all the super conservative people. They're like, gay people are the worst people on the planet. It's like, come on, buddy. What are you hiding? I don't trust anything anyone says anymore. No, you can't.
If that's your platform, you're crazy. That's crazy
Yeah.
to put that. Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably get out ahead of some things, though.
They're gonna tell you that I love pickles, guys. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've never loved
Jake would
pickles.
hate it if he bought everyone gave him pickles.
I would actually hate that. Pickles
Would
are
you?
the worst. People are
Not
gonna
pickle
say
guy.
that I hate pickles. They're right. Wait, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah,
I'm too honest.
which is exactly what someone who knows what they're doing would say. I'm on to you, Baggett.
God damn, dude.
Let's talk about our fucking things.
This show has gone off the rails.
What happens when you're productive all day and I'm got half of an NA and I spent the whole day reading comic books. It's been fun.
God damn it. Oh yeah, I gotta get back into that. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about my rec for you first.
Let's do it.
So we're talking about the 2023 role-playing video game Sea of Stars.
Yeah.
Developed by Sabotage Studio. It's their second game. The follow-up to, what was their first one called?
The Messenger.
The Messenger,
right?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's already on a couple short lists for Game of the Year.
Cool.
Game of the Year is going to be super tight this
Yeah,
year,
I
I
can't
think.
wait to see who wins it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to agree with them.
I mean, it's a bullshit, thing.
Yeah,
that's
but
not
it's a real fun conversation amongst friends. That's for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, we'll definitely have some things to say about it.
Yes. Jeff Keighley. Hey, he's such a sweetie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He just likes video games a lot.
I feel like you're getting ahead of something.
I look. Me
Is Jeff Keighley paying you to do things?
They're going to say that I've been in Jeff Keighley's limo a lot. That's not true.
Yeah, apparently the predictions right now for Game of the Year. Well, first of all, some of them say already Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Which has
see, there you go.
Did you see the new gameplay of Spider-Man 2?
No.
Looks dope.
I wouldn't
Looks
buy it
so
no matter
fun.
what.
Gerard-
the first one was great.
Yeah, Gerard Khalil, who's one of the reasons I have Sea of Stars as a
Gerard the
recommendation.
Constructionist. Yeah.
Yes. So you got in there.
I don't know.
But he did a thing about Spider-Man 2, and he said he played it. He's like, if you love the first one, this is more of the same, only better.
Perfect.
Because you get...
all I need.
It's got Brooklyn and Queens as boroughs.
Oh, cool.
So you get bigger than that. So the front runners right now are... God damn it. Sea of Stars, Starfield, Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, Diablo 4, Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Yeah.
And first place tending right now is Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
So I think you probably give it to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, so far I'd say I'd give it to Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
That game is something that I went back to it not too long ago, being like, I'm just going to beat this game, get it out of here. And then I went on and did like 20 more shrines.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll get back to this.
There's a thing on Reddit where it's like, if you had to listen to the same song on repeat for a week, and at the end of the week you get $25 million, could you do it? And I was like, yeah. I'd probably just do the ambient music from Breath of the Wild or from Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild.
No, it has to have lyrics.
Oh, it has to have lyrics?
Yeah, it has to have lyrics. So it's been 1 week. Yeah. I'll listen to that for 1 week.
If I didn't already...
So you're like, how long did you have to listen to it? And then have like flashbacks like Vietnam.
Stop it. But yeah, so Sea of Stars, very nice indie game.
Oh.
I picked it because I wanted to talk to you about this style of game because it's not something I really ever played.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, I also never played a Diablo game before.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that. I've been playing...
How does this compare for you to Diablo 4?
I wouldn't compare it as much to Diablo as I would another one of your... Not on pod, but not an actual recommendation. When you recommended that I play Hades.
Yeah.
So Hades is a small game.
Yeah.
It's quick to pick up the mechanics of it, but just the gameplay of it is very... It's something I've said about a lot of games that we've talked about recently. It's really fun to get good at it.
Yeah.
This falls
very
into that.
addictive.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to pick up this based on your... I know
okay.
this is a type of game that you like. It's not a game I'm used to. And then with a rec from Gerard, who I've never really disagreed with him about a game.
Gerard is somebody that I admire his commitment to his craft.
Yes.
His thing is 100% games, and I've only seen him fail once.
Yeah.
And it was Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's just because it's impossible.
Yeah.
He's like, I will be doing this for thousands of hours.
He's one of those early YouTubers. Not early, but he's been doing it for
He's been doing it for a
15
good while.
years, I think. Now.
Yeah.
But he found his little corner of the internet where he's like, this is the people that I'm talking to, and he found his market, and it's just fantastic. Much like someone else we talk about, Summoning Salt. Did you watch the new Summoning Salt?
Yes, I did, of course.
World 5-2?
5-2?
You want to watch 40 minutes about one level of Mario the
That was
Lost
my
Levels?
favorite one, was the other Mario level from Summoning Salt.
God damn it.
Both of those are fantastic.
Genius
Because
guy.
they just go deep into the mechanics of what's happening
Pixel
here.
by pixel of every little thing.
And he did his own speed run of explaining one of the exploits that he explained in the previous episode. And that was cute.
Genius guy. But back to Sea of Stars.
Back to Sea of Stars.
Plot. Quick synopsis of the plot. Valere and Zale are solstice warriors, adventurers who have control over eclipse magic. Their power is the only magic able to harm the dwellers, otherworldly monsters who are created by a godlike alchemist called the Fleshmancer.
Yo.
So it's a high fantasy, or not high fantasy because it doesn't have like dwarfs and orcs and stuff.
But it's a fantastic world.
Yeah,
with
it's a fantasy world. There are two
animal
young
people.
warriors.
Yeah. You play adolescent.
That archetype that's on there. So, I really was surprised by how much I like this game because the graphics, like I said, I said when I recommend it, it looks like a Super Nintendo game.
Yes, that's very true.
So that's what, 32-bit, 16?
16-bit.
Okay, but it has that style while still playing nicely because you don't have just up, down, left, right controls. You can go kind of at angles.
And it's so nice seeing their sprites turn diagonally when you go diagonal. Oh, and the ship is like 360. It's like almost 3D.
Yeah.
But it's just a pixel.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I think it is a really high form of pixel art, what people call it.
It's wonderful pixel art.
The backgrounds and everything, like the trees move in the wind, plants and everything like that, waves on the shore of the beach and everything. And it's the best looking, I guess, old looking game.
Sure.
Yeah. And I think the way they did that art style is it definitely is one of the things that hooked me immediately just because that hits me right in the nostalgia. I think the only kind because I never even really played any of the SNES Zelda games. I've played them since on emulators and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the time, I never really played them.
Sure.
I didn't play too many of the classic big, SNES RPGs, which is something I want to talk to you about
Me
later.
neither. Yeah, until later.
And it really hit me. The only game I really played with that control style was a game called Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Did you ever play that?
That's not turn-based RPG.
No, I'm just saying that movement style and the view.
Oh,
like
okay.
that
The
top-down thing.
style?
Yeah, and I guess first-generation Pokemon's kind of like that, too.
Okay.
But other than that, I was like a side-scroller guy.
Yeah.
And then I moved from side-scroller quick to 3D. So that
I see what you mean.
That view, I never really played many games like that, except for, I guess, first-gen Pokemon. Picked it up quick. I think the mechanics are good.
Long tutorial.
It did have a...
One of my critiques.
The story...
is the tutorial is pretty long.
Yeah. And it's a little hand-holdy, but then I think once it gets into the action, it really kind of lets you just do your own.
Yeah.
So since I didn't have any real background with games like this, how'd you find it compared to like newer RPGs, like story elements?
First,
how far into it are you? I'm like 10 or 12 hours in.
I got the ship. I'm on the ship, and I'm
Big
sailing
ship or
around.
Big ship?
Big ship.
Okay, cool.
And I'm sailing around.
Yeah.
And that's basically where I'm at right now.
Cool. So we're about at the same spot.
Yeah, what I would say right off the top is you should play Chrono Trigger from the SNES.
That's I have a list of JRPGs.
Yeah.
Which apparently you're not supposed to say that anymore.
I have no clue. I don't know. Just call it an RPG. I don't understand what you mean.
I know too, but apparently someone called it a JRPG, and then someone else on the internet's like, you can't say that anymore. I'm like, but we don't need to get bogged down. It's from Japan.
Yeah.
But that kind of style of game. So why Chrono Trigger?
Chrono Trigger is probably my favorite one.
It's a 1995 game.
Of a turn-based. I got it for the Game Boy Advance. That's when I played it. And it came from a recommendation from a friend saying, like, you got to play it. It's one of the best RPGs ever. And I did. And it's one of the only RPGs that I actually played through to completion, because these games are long, and then I just get my fill after some point.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I can't do it anymore, so I set it aside. But Chrono Trigger wasn't like that. The entire time I wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
And I actually played that game for dozens of hours, and I beat it, and it's a great story. It's an awesome gameplay, and it looks great, and all the characters are wonderful. So if you like this game, I think you would really like Chrono Trigger.
I just remember seeing the artwork for Chrono Trigger and thought it looked like Dragon Ball Z, but it wasn't Dragon Ball Z.
Spiky hair kind of guys. Yeah, I think the artist did the profiles for them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Could be.
But maybe. I think Luca kind of looks like a Dragon Ball Z type of character. But this game is very Chrono Trigger-like, and that's a really good thing. I think it's awesome.
Oh.
It's so much fun to play. Like I said already, its tutorial takes a little while. Like once the story starts going, it's interesting, and it does that RPG thing where you think the story's wrapping up, and then it's like, nope, there's more. And like that's really fun. And the combat is really fun because you get to think a couple moves ahead and think about, okay, they don't like this type of magic or this type of attack, and I want Garl out because he's going to be able to heal us, and just that type of fun thought process. I haven't done that in a bit.
So is Chrono Trigger like that as well?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger, not so much in the party flipping.
Yeah.
But there is party flipping, and there's just, like, after a while, the game, you get used to the battle mechanics, and then the game's like, oh, there's more. Here's some more. And then you're like, wow, this really opens it up. And then you're fighting much stronger people, and it's like when you pull it off, your fist pumping in the air going,
yeah. I will say this game is Sea of Stars, and by the way, you are right. I just looked it up. Akira Toriyama from Dragon Ball did do the character design for Chrono Trigger.
Knew it.
Good recall, Jake. You're good at stuff like that.
Yeah, buddy.
So the story is... I think the story is engaging enough. The characters are really great.
The story picks up.
Yeah.
About 12, well, I'm probably 12 hours into it, but like 8 to 9 hours into it.
Once you get on the first ship and you get the crew of pirates, that's when you're kind of like, all right, we're rolling.
That's when the gameplay picks up, and that's when the story picks up.
What I like about this is, like you said, there are... so when you go into turn-based, you're facing between 1 and I think the most I've faced so far is like 5 enemies at a time.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And do you see they have a little countdown next to them about how many turns till they attack, and you get to go. It's 1 for 1. Either they count down or they attack, and you get to attack with one of your characters. And sometimes it has a little lock thing where it's like they're going to do a super attack, so you need to hit them with like a moon, a sun, and a heavy attack.
Yeah, you have to hit them the proper.
And that'll break their lock on their attack.
They won't attack. Yeah.
So the problem solving for that is outstanding.
Yes.
It's very satisfying to plan things ahead. It's kind of like I always bring it up because it's the first turn-based one I ever played is Pokemon. It'd be like if you're fighting 3-on-3 Pokemon, you're like, all right, this guy's going to attack with this, so I need to hit him with a fire attack, a leaf attack.
That's the cool thing too, is because like the lock attack's coming, and you know the enemy type, and you're like, oh, this thing is going to fuck me up if I don't do something.
Right, so I don't want to use my mana points yet. I want to hit him with a regular attack because then I can get that extra power and then use that.
This guy's going to heal the other people, so I don't really have to worry about him attacking me, so I'll worry about the other guys trying to take me down.
Then when you go to like the second big, or the first island that you go to, you would see zombies pick up, and they have like a little green skull next to their thing, and like, how do I hurt them with a green skull attack? I don't have it, and then it's one of those things where it leads you, 30 minutes later into gameplay, you're like, oh, this person has green. And you're like, that's what that's for.
Yeah.
The exploration is great of the little worlds.
Yeah, definitely. Finding the conch shells, the rainbow conch, and you're just like, and then also, I don't know what these are for, but like,
it's fun
when I see the chests, I'm like, I'm going to find my way to that.
And also things you could see, like a treasure chest up on a ledge where you're like, I don't know, like I just did something where it's like I saw a chest up on a ledge, and I'm like, I don't know how to get up there, but then you walk around and you're like, in the world, you're like, I'm kind of above that, and you see a hole, and then you jump down that hole, and then you're next to where you just
if
kind
you
of
think
remember.
about your place in the world
building
and
is
where
fantastic.
the chest is.
Yeah.
If you can just have that, recall, you're going to be like, oh yeah, like it's probably right down here now, and then you find it, and you're like, oh yeah,
it's fun to explore. The music's fantastic too.
Music's really good.
Yeah.
When the pirate band plays, and you can change their songs.
Yeah.
The songs are great.
Like a little wind-up jukebox.
Yeah.
And the fun...
Every song is like, hell yeah, this is great.
The side characters are nice, too.
Yes.
Like you brought up...
Every pirate is very sweet and
they've all got their own little weird thing.
Yes.
Guy with double eye patches, guy with a magic shirt.
Yeah. Guy with a magic shirt that hides his buff body.
For no...
that he can rip off and then grows back.
For like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So, yeah, I think it's definitely... Would you call this a good entry level like RPG like this?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because like the tutorial is slow because we're adult big brain boy men. We're men. Not boys, we're
God
men.
Damn it, that took you a while to get to it.
So like
we're adult big brain boys.
Big boys that got
got
good
big
brains.
Boy brains.
And so the tutorial part, the beginning island is it sinks into us pretty quick. But like if you're a younger dude, you're gonna be able to like you have plenty of time to pick up what's going on.
Yeah.
And then once you leave that island, you're set. You're stacked.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what's going on, and you're going to be able to fight.
And I will say this. In the first zone where you're fighting the little mole guy, and you're in the little cave, that's when I was kind of... The difficulty curve kind of steps up there.
Yeah.
And...
That's a really good boss battle.
Yeah. But there's a lot of little modifiers that you can turn on, off and on. That like don't really change the difficulty too much, but it's like
I like that.
If you click this on, you're going to take 30% less damage.
The one that I turned on was just a visual cue to let me know if I got
if you parried correctly.
Yeah.
So it has things like that, and then it has something. If you want to make it super easy, it's like after every battle, your whole team heals completely. So you can turn that on if you like. So there's. It's one of those games where you can play it any way you want to play it. If you want to play it super hardcore mode, and I love the collection and
cheats.
The cooking.
They just give you cheats, and
right?
that's
But
great.
it doesn't make you feel like a cheat because it's not saying like.
Well, there's
it's
not, back in the day, I would cheat on Contra just so I could play it.
Yeah.
So it's cool to me that they're just like, here's some cheats if you want to play the game, and it's
right.
like,
But I like how they're not calling them cheats.
Yes.
Like they're giving them to you and they're just modifiers.
Yes.
It's basically telling you, it's not saying you're cheating for doing it this way.
Oh yeah.
You're just not playing
That's
it on
what
the
I
hardest
enjoy
difficulty.
though, because they're like, I just want you to play the game. So if you need to be healed after the fight, go ahead, bud.
When I beat Ghost of Tsushima, the New Game Plus, but I still had to go around and find a bunch of random things, and then there's like side quests you have to do, or not side quests, but like trophies you have to get where it's like kill 3 enemies in a flashbang or something like that.
Yeah.
That one smoke grenade, you kill 3 people or whatever. and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to jack this down to the low difficulty and just knock out this trophy real quick. So, and I like how it can do it in real time where it doesn't mess up your save state. It's not one of those things where it's like, once you activate this, you can't change it
I like
at
that
all.
too. Yeah.
And I really like how game developers, especially people, big brain boys like us that are making video games now, they remember growing up playing video games. And I think that's one of the things, what you were talking about with like Contra.
Yeah.
Or my big example of this is for Super Nintendo, the Lion King game.
Yeah.
That game was created by people who have never been children watching a movie and want to play a video game of that movie.
Okay.
That game is hard for adults that know how to play video games.
But like,
it's still quintessentially like one of the hardest like platformers like that.
The Disney realm, they made Aladdin too, and they have up, down, left, right, ABBA, skip a level.
Right.
So I could just.
Well, no, I'm not talking about because there were cheats and stuff in Lion King, but I'm saying like a game made for. There were no people that were children when they wanted to play video games making video games then.
Well,
now there are people that grew up playing.
I could kind of see where you're going, but I also say like that's what cheats were for when they put them in. They're like, this is probably going to be hard for people. They probably just want to skip it. And then, so because like we worked really hard on this level, I still want them to see it if they're having problems. So, I'm a big advocate for cheats. Is what I'm saying. I just use the nomenclature cheats because that's what I grew up on.
But I'm saying that like Chrono Trigger came out 30 years ago.
Yeah, no cheats on that game.
Right. So someone that grew up,
you can grind.
Someone that grew up playing that game, they could be, in their 20s now.
Yeah.
Played Chrono Trigger with their kid now, or when they were a kid. Now they're like, I know what I would have appreciated in this game. So I think that's why a lot of these retro style games are making a comeback, and a lot of them are some of the strongest in that genre.
Sure.
So, like, where would you put this in this style of game? Is it like up top tier for you?
It's top tier. Yeah, definitely. It's one of. It's super fun.
Yes.
Just having that active time press for more damage is absolutely frustrating when you fuck it up. And
you feel like a schmuck when you mess it up.
You're like, oh my god, I just need 2 hits with the sword, and then they won't attack, and then it just goes
the moon away. When I was supposed to.
So it's like you just threw daggers twice. That was your fault.
Love the dagger throw. The teleport dagger throw.
It's funny.
It's like a mixture.
Her do that.
It reminded me of Portal, where you just pop up and down. And
it's so funny to watch her do it super duper fast.
Yeah,
but it's fun. It's beautiful, and it feels like I'm just getting started. 12 hours into it.
It's definitely something I'm going to keep playing this game for a good bit. It's probably what's going to hold me over until Spider-Man 2 comes out.
When I get bored or when I get worn out from this game, I just pick up Baldur's Gate 3 for a little while. And once I get worn out of that, I pick up Sea of Stars. It's been working out really well like that.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
I've been doing that with Sea of Stars and Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, I keep looking at Red Dead, and I'm like, I'm sorry.
It's always there for you.
I'm sorry, buddy.
It's always there for you, cowpoke.
That's all right, boy. I'll be right here.
So I wanted to get your thoughts on this, too, because I wanted to know how this game relates to a game that they just announced the re-release for, which is Super Mario RPG. They're putting out the remaster of Super Mario RPG.
I played that for a little bit. I haven't
because that's on the
into
Switch Online.
Do you not watch the Nintendo Direct?
I watched most of it, yeah.
Okay.
I watched the part about Dave the Diver. I got
There's
a demo
an
for that, too.
RPG that both of us are going to really enjoy.
What's that?
That I can't wait to play. They are remaking or remastering Paper Mario, 1,000-Year Door.
Is that not what they announced?
No, Super Mario RPG and Paper Mario.
Oh, okay. They had a
announced
Paper
both.
Mario for Switch, didn't they?
Yeah. What? They
Paper
already
Mario- yeah.
the Origami King.
Yeah.
But that's not anything like 1,000-Year Door.
1,000-Year Door is different.
I haven't played 1,000-Year Door, but I have played the original Paper Mario. And everybody says that 1,000-Year Door is just Paper Mario, but better.
Right.
So I'm actually really excited to play that one.
More so than Super Mario RPG.
And I think you're going to really like that one, too.
Really?
Because the battle system is pretty similar
to Sea of
Stars, where if you see a little enemy walking around, you can smack it with the hammer, and that way you get a little advantage to it.
Yeah.
Every move has its cute little thing where, like, if you're playing the Koopa Boy and you want to use your shell attack where you slide across and hurt everybody, you have to hold back on the stick and then watch the line fill up, and when it's filled up, you release it.
Nice.
So he shoots out, and that's how you get the most damage out of it.
Like a pinball machine.
Kind of like a pinball machine.
Huh.
Yeah. So I think this is the one that's going to make us really enjoy it.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So what do you give Sea of Stars?
3.
3?
Yeah, absolute 3.
3 for Sea of Stars.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. So, so that's Sea of Stars.
Thanks for getting me to play it.
Of course.
I probably would have sat on that for a bit.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about it, so I made you get it.
Yeah.
So that's Sea of Stars. It's available on all major platforms. It's available on Steam. It's an indie developer, so
I think I paid $20 bucks.
so you can
maybe?
support, and
Yeah.
you say it's well worth $25.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever the price was, it's definitely worth it.
Worth the price of admission. That's
Yes.
all we could ask for.
Uh-huh.
All right. So yeah, Sea of Stars is out. Check it out. Let us know what you think. All right, let's get into Jake's recommendation for me,
Hell yeah.
which is the series Sweet Tooth,
Booyah.
which was written, drawn, and done everything by Mr. What's his name, Jake?
Jeff Lemire. I heard of this damn woman.
I have it on cue. I should put that as one of the sound drops because I can do my little sound drops on this like that. I'm just gonna have one where every time I hit a button, the lady just goes.
Jeff.
Jeff
I
Lemire.
don't like her.
Someone please remind me to do that. So I just hit it every time it comes up.
Ay.
God, I should have done that ahead of time. That would have been so much better. So yeah, Jeff Lemire, Sweet Tooth is the series of books. Jake, why don't you give us a background of this and why you recommended it?
So, back in DC when they did the New 52, remember that? Mm-hmm. One of
I've
the
got all the Batman up there.
Batman was the Scott Snyder.
Yeah.
Oh man, he did such a good job.
Yeah, I've got them all over there.
Those are so good.
Yeah.
But one of them was Animal Man that I was
Yeah.
reading, and that was Jeff Lemire,
Mhm.
and I loved it. I was like, this is awesome. Like they really did something with this character, and from there I was like, what else has Jeff Lemire done? And it was like, here, Sweet Tooth. He did Sweet Tooth, and so I bought the volume 1, and I read it, and I was like, this is incredible. So I kept reading every volume that I could until literally the second to last one, and then I stopped because I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah.
And the last one wasn't out yet, and so it was like Christmas one day when my brother got it for me as a present, and I was able to finish it off,
Nice.
and it ends so well.
Yeah.
Like it just became one of my favorite comic books.
So
Ever.
it ran from 2009 until 2021. So it's a good run of
2021?
well,
Oh,
because
there's a
the-
new one.
the comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
so-
how to feel about reading that.
I haven't read. So you haven't read The Return?
No.
That's a new one. So
I've read.
the original run was from 2009 to 2013.
I started reading Ascender
Yeah.
from him or Descender. I can't remember which one, but that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was after this was also released as a Netflix series in June of 2021, and then second season came out in April 2023. I didn't
Wow.
even watch that.
I haven't watched either
I
one.
didn't know it was out.
Yeah.
I think I watched half of the first season.
Yeah. Your
And I
thoughts?
remember reading some of these comics back then. Different characterization of his dad. His dad was Will Forte.
Wow.
And, yeah,
What a choice.
it's Will Forte. It was also produced by Robert Downey Jr.'s company. So Robert Downey Jr. apparently read the graphic novel and wanted to turn it. After he got all that Iron Man clout, they're like, what do you want to do with comic books? And he's like, I want to do a Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
yeah. So we already talked about one Jeff Lemire book
Yes.
already, The Underwater
Underwater
Welder, which
Welder.
I think was my first major impact into Jeff Lemire.
Yes.
And so reading this, I got to say, it's a lot like, it's very, having only read a couple of his things, it's very Jeff Lemire.
Yeah.
It's very dark. The art style is quintessentially Jeff Lemire.
Yes.
Tells
Once
the
you
sto-
take a look at it, you'll understand what Jeff Lemire's style is.
So the essential,
So the story of it
Yeah.
is it's the apocalypse, basically.
Yep.
Most of the population died from a
virus.
virus that nobody knows, but at the same time that this virus was wreaking havoc, children were being born with animal characteristics.
Hybrids, yeah.
Yeah, some of them more animalish than human,
Mm-hmm.
some of them just slightly, like Sweet Tooth just has antlers.
And deer ears.
And deer ears? Yeah. And Sweet Tooth, Gus, is the boy that the story follows. He lives with his father in a preserve, like a
State forest in Nebraska.
yeah, state forest. And so that he's just isolated. It's just him and his religious kook of a father.
Yep.
Just trying to survive during this. And then his father just gets sick and dies. And then Gus is like, oh boy, I got to do something. Have I said Lemire?
No.
Okay.
I had to click that on accident. I was trying to click something else.
And you threw it all off.
Sorry.
So
Dad's
he,
in the
he
woods.
wanders away.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets out because he has to do something, you know. and he runs into Jeopard, who's ex-hockey player.
Yeah.
And he's
quintessential badass old man in the post-apocalypse
so
with a gun and a bat.
But he used to be a hockey player.
Yeah.
That's why he's so strong in the apocalypse.
He was a goon.
I love it. Yeah. So you follow the story of Jeopard trying to help this kid out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really go so well.
No, and there's some twists and turns. So I'm halfway through the whole run.
Uh-huh.
So I guess spoilers for the first half of Sweet Tooth.
Sure.
Jeopard takes Gus to the preserve.
Uh-huh.
And it's not a preserve, it's a militia camp where scientists are doing experiments on the animal kids.
On the poor kids.
And they find out, like always, Gus is special. Doesn't have a belly button, so he wasn't born. He was grown. They're like, this guy has something to do with how everything started.
Yes.
So he's the special boy. And then Jeopard comes back to rescue him.
Yeah, Jeopard feels bad.
With a whole bunch of crazy cultists. And one crazy guy that's got his 5 little dog baby boys.
Yeah.
And they're insane.
Yeah.
And they're more
So
on the dog than the
wild.
boy side.
Yeah.
And eating people.
Ravaging type dogs.
So I stopped right after Jeopard breaks Gus out.
Okay.
Where Jeopard escapes with
Gus.
one of the doctors, the bad guy's little brother, 3 kids, and no, 2 other kids.
3. 2 other kids. The bird,
it's the beaver and the pig.
Okay, the pig.
Beaver and the pig girl.
Okay.
And they escape, and they're going to go up to Alaska because they find out that's where Gus is from.
Yeah.
That's where Gus's dad. The backstory is Gus's dad was a scientist. I don't know what it is yet.
Okay.
So
good. I was about to ruin it.
Don't, because what I'm going to say next. One of the most engaging books I've read in a while. If I was reading this month to month, it's one of those things where, like, if this was out month to month, I'd be at my comic store.
Yeah.
On Tuesday when it comes out.
It was
be
that
like, is there
situation.
a new
I'm
Sweet
sitting
Tooth
there
out?
tapping, waiting for this thing to show
would
up.
Definitely be on my pull list to the old comic book store and be like, hey, I want this every fucking time it comes out. These would be bagged and boarded. One of the most engaging series I've read ever, probably.
It's one of those books that I have a couple books that if I'm at a used bookstore and I see it for cheap, I'll buy it and then hand it off to somebody.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, you got to read this,
Yeah.
So
I've got a couple like that.
Yeah, right? It's so much fun to be like that.
It's fun to give like little books or something.
Yeah, just have a book that you love so much that you see it and you're like, I got to have this. And then you're talking to somebody and you're like, I have something great for you.
Yeah.
But that's Sweet Tooth, definitely.
I did that with one of my novels that I like. It's by an author, Lydia Millette. It's called A Children's Bible.
Huh.
Like I bought like 3 copies of it and I'll just give it to people.
Hell yeah.
It's a fucking great book.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye out.
I don't have a copy of it right now because I gave it to somebody. But it's fucking great. So yeah, this 100% gets a 3 for me. Yeah.
Fantastic.
So
you can see where my love started. I read Underwater Welder.
Wait, love for
Jeff Lemire. Shit. Lemire.
Luh-meer.
Gosh darn it. This
hope
woman's
that
actually
picks up.
helpful.
I have it just set on slow now.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
So this was after Animal Man, which was a really good run.
I got to read that. You've been
Yes.
talking about that for a while.
After that,
I've already got the
I picked this up.
omnibus
This
of-
is so much better.
I've already got the omnibus hardcover in my Amazon cart for Animal Man, just based on
Oh,
Sweet
really?
Tooth. Yeah.
Cool. That's when I read Underwater Welder. That's
Yeah.
when I read The Frog Catcher. That's when I read The Senders. And that's when I read Black Hammer. And everything that I read from him has been captivating.
So he's that guy for you.
Yes. He's Garth Ennis used to be like that for me. If I saw anything was written by him, I'd pick it up and read it. Punisher Max is a fantastic series of Punisher books.
Yeah.
And The Boys, I enjoyed it. So sorry, society. I was enjoying those.
No, hundreds of thousands of people enjoy it. It's one of Amazon's top rated properties.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And Preacher is just amazing.
great too, yeah.
That's definitely his.
I don't have my first book of Preacher. I think Preacher was another one of those things that I would give to people.
I only have. Yeah, because that's what happened to me.
Did I give you the first book of Preacher and that's what you have?
I went out and I bought it again.
I've got the rest of them, but I don't know where. But it's like because I think that just like you were saying, lending copies stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have my first copy of Preacher, and I don't have my first collection of Sandman.
You know what?
So I guarantee I lent first book of Preacher and the first book of Sandman to
I
somebody.
want to have to rebuy Sandman, and I'm going to rebuy.
I've got all the rest of the
volumes
Sandmans because I think it was one of those
Sweet
things
Tooth.
where I was like, "Hey,
this is
read
yours,
the first one."
by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, this is yours, bud.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Of course.
Well, I wasn't going to give it back to you today because I'm still reading the rest of it.
But yeah, that's all yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Super
want to
great.
get the individual volumes again to fill up.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it looks so nice on a bookshelf.
Look at all my Batmans.
That's what I'm saying. When you look over and you just see a nice pile, that lets me know that I could pick up one and be like, how's this? And you'll be like, yeah, it's good. Read the first one. And then I can read the first one.
The Scott Snyder Batman's over there. I was like, hey, well, these are good. This one's, not so great, but you have to read
Why
it a
the
little
Last
bit.
Man starting. Yeah, that one's great.
Yep.
So, yeah,
I
you
used
can
to
look
have-
over and you could be like, yeah, if you haven't read this, read the first one. Then
Yeah.
you'll see if you're into it.
I didn't get through the whole Why the Last Man series either.
Me neither,
Yeah.
but I totally enjoyed it. Same thing with Saga from Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah.
I got pretty far into it, and I totally dug it, but it just... Comic books is really hard to keep up with.
It is.
Because after a while, I just kind of forget.
Well, it's just
No
like with
offense to
the
them.
Scott Snyder Batman. Like, I got... I think when they started putting the New 52 out in graphic novels, like, I bought a bunch of them. Like, I have the Batman. I've got the first couple Suicide Squad, the Flash, Aquaman, and a couple of those just over there.
Hell yeah.
And I remember I would read the Batman, and then I would just forget about it. And then it would be like a year later. I'm like, oh, there's probably a new graphic novel collection out. And then I just would buy
That's
that.
exactly how it happens. Yeah.
I was like that with the Ultimates when it came out, too. Like Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men.
Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate X-Men are definitely worth it.
Yeah, and then the
Yeah.
Ultimates that they came out, which is what the Avengers essentially are now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man is really good.
Comics are fun. I like episodes when we get to talk about
Comic
comics.
books are so fun.
Yeah. We talked about comics and video games this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know our niche. We
Yeah.
know what we're into.
Yeah.
If we're not talking about Scarlett Johansson or time travel,
Or Ben Affleck.
we're talking about comic books and video games.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, that's a 3. I think, I recommend everyone watch it or read this and find a way to pick up with it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to rewatch a little bit of the Netflix series. I'm going to...
You gotta.
Yeah.
I really don't want to try it out.
I'm not gonna force myself to do it, but
Yeah.
Have you been watching Ahsoka yet?
No, of course not.
Hayden Christensen's back.
I had to fart. I'm sorry. I wasn't shocked or anything.
Come on.
Stupid.
It's kind of nice to see him.
Why?
I don't know.
He did bad.
No.
He did bad.
It's one
Do
of
you
those
guys
things-
remember that the line that he had in episode 3 was, from my point of view, it's the Jedi who are evil? He said that.
He didn't write it,
in
though.
anger.
He didn't write it.
He said it.
Listen.
You have some autonomy, sir. You could have said, I'm not going to say this.
All right. Ewan McGregor was pretty great in all those movies. But regardless, he's one of those people where the fandom has re-embraced him. Like in...
Yeah, of course they did, because they have to salivate over Star Wars now. They will watch something Star Wars and say that they love it. It's over.
No.
This is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
There might be good stuff coming out.
So you don't even know about
but there
the
might be shit coming out.
don't even
and
know
then
about the
people will
Force
still
gods.
be going, it was great. It was so good.
You don't know about the Father, the Son, and the Daughter, though.
Yeah, of course, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Of course I do.
the Force gods on the planet Mortis, that the Ahsoka died, and then the essence of the daughter went into Ahsoka when the daughter sacrificed herself, so Ahsoka is now the living embodiment of the light side of the Force. You don't even know none of that.
That doesn't make any lick of sense.
It's not supposed to. It's a Star War.
They make it fun.
It is.
And you're not doing that.
It is.
Unless it's Andor, and I haven't seen it, and the only reason I said that is because people would get mad if I said it was bad. Which means I should watch it so I can tell people why it's bad.
You should watch the middle 3 episodes.
Because you know what people are doing to me? You know what they're trying to do to me?
They got Richie from The Bear is in Endor.
I know. That's kind of the only reason I want to watch it.
Yeah, he's
but people are trying to tell me that Rogue One was a good movie.
In retrospect, it's better than people gave it credit for, but I think out of the new movies that have been released since Disney took over, my favorite is still Solo.
And you're talking to the guy that liked Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know, I actually enjoyed it.
I thought Last Jedi was the best out of that trilogy.
Absolutely.
Also, news since we got on Star Wars topic somehow, Stephen Glover, Donald Glover's brother, announced that they're doing a Lando movie.
Oh my God.
Stephen Glover also
we don't
co-wrote.
need that.
Stephen Glover also co-wrote Atlanta with his brother.
Make something in Star Wars that has nothing to do with any Star Wars character.
But Lando's cool.
He was cool when it was
Billy D. Williams?
Billy D. Williams.
He was cool. He was in Rise of Skywalker.
You know Billy D. Williams came in and he was like, I need to be a space cape. No, he did that.
Why does Darth Vader got a cape and I don't got a cape?
Yeah. Because there's a great picture of him and he's like swathing his cape.
He's a bit of a swashbuckler.
Yeah. Oh my
right.
God. Billy D. Williams. He's just very charming.
So if you like hearing us talk about Star Wars and getting off on weird tangents, I honestly can't even remember all the different things we talked about.
Yeah,
this
we
episode.
went crazy.
It's one of those weird ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happens.
This is my favorite.
So you can write in your recommendations or tell us what you think about the things we were talking about to upyouralleypod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram @upyouralleypod, Threads upyouralleypod, TikTok @upyouralleypod.
You have been making some great TikToks, my friend.
I have. I got to do some more editing. I got to get on that.
That's amazing editing, sir.
I've been busy. Thank you.
You picked it up quick.
So let's get into what we're going to be getting into next week. Jacob, what do you got for me?
All right. Have you seen Spirited Away?
No. I've seen the other one that you have there, the
Good.
Nausicaa.
I brought two because I thought that you've seen one. We're going to watch Spirited Away, buddy.
Anime.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to give anime another shot. This time, it's going to be a 3 because it has to be, because it's going to make you cry. Cry
like
happy
crying.
tears. Happy tears.
That's excellent because I'm going to have I have something, a recommendation for you that'll make you cry angry tears.
Oh, no.
Real quick, I want to see if this is available to stream anywhere for anyone.
I think it's on HBO or Max, as the children call it these days.
It's children. It's the corporate ghouls that call it that. Let me see. Just watch.
I'm pretty sure it's on Max. I think there's like a whole Studio Ghibli button that you can push.
Really?
Yeah.
So they got all of them.
Yeah, like basically all of them.
Yeah, I think if I have seen this, it was fucking years ago. I don't remember anything about it.
Okay.
This did get a Oscar nomination, didn't it?
Yeah. I have no clue. But it's about a little girl whose parents turn into pigs, and she doesn't want them to be pigs, so she goes to work at a bathhouse with an old witch who says, "You work here for a little while, and I'll turn your parents back into humans." And then
checks out.
Wonderful hijinks ensue.
All right, so Spirited Away, Jake brought me this nice physical Blu-ray, which I will watch it on.
Hell yeah.
And but it's
Physical
also
media,
available to
baby.
stream on Max. This is another double Max episode with my rec for you.
Ooh.
A 2023 documentary. Just came out a couple weeks ago, back in August. Available on Max. Jake, does the name Bishop Sycamore mean anything to you?
No.
Bishop Sycamore High School.
Bishop Sycamore High School.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Should it?
Great.
Why?
No, it's better if it doesn't.
Oh, God.
So the documentary is called BS High.
Uh-huh.
This is about the Bishop Sycamore football team that played on ESPN against IMG Academy, which is in my hometown of Bradenton, Florida, the #1 football school in the country.
Wow.
It's one of those schools that kind of people move there to play football, and school's kind of secondary, and then they all go to D1 colleges and NFL.
Damn.
So they played against them, despite, and this is all I'm going to tell you about it before you watch the documentary. It's only an hour and 30-minute documentary.
Okay.
But it's a fucking ride. So they played on ESPN in 2021 against IMG Academy, despite not being a real school.
Oh. Huh.
Yes.
This should be a movie already.
It will be eventually, but
I'm
it's
sure.
called BS High, available to stream on Max right now.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, so I'm going to watch
Interesting.
Spirit Away, available to stream on Max. Jake is going to watch BS High, available to stream on Max. Jake is also going to watch...
Jeff Lemire.
Yeah. You feel better?
I do. It's so much fun to say. I really hope it picks up on the audio. All right. So, yeah, we're going to do that. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Tell your friends about the show. Jake, thanks for coming over. Love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.